Welcome to Halong Bay. We came here from Sapa during the night. We took the sleeper train, which started like 10 p.m. in Sapa, and we arrived around 5 a.m. in Hanoi. And let me tell you, this experience was worse than the first one. The first one was sort of clean, but it was extremely cold. This time it wasn't so cold, but it was dirty. And within like 10 minutes in our cabin, I had to kill a cockroach with my phone. So yeah, that wasn't exactly a pleasant night. Oh well, once we managed to survive the trip to Hanoi, we took a Grab or taxi to Halong Bay, and here we are waiting for the ship. We are still not exactly sure whether it is a scam or a real deal, but we still have about 2 hours to wait in this scorching heat, so that's that. We are trying to find a way to our boat ride, and I can see a water buffalo down there. We are going, it seems like, through somebody's rice field, I don't even know. We were chased by about 3 dogs, and I hit my head on low-hanging bananas. So that's another experience in Vietnam, and it's so fucking hot all the time. So it seems we either go 4 minutes, 14 minutes, or 40 minutes to our boat in this transport, so we will see how long it takes.
It was 40 minutes, but we didn't even mind, because we had a nice view along the way.
So this is the ship, and probably the best part about the whole thing is that this 2-day, 1-night luxurious boat ride is only about 110 USD or something like that. So that's the reason why we were a little bit scared that it's going to be some scam or the boat is going to be the shittiest boat we have ever seen. But we stand corrected. It's pretty nice.
We were quite hungry when we arrived, so I don't have any videos from the lunch, but it was really fancy. Squid with lemongrass and chili was my favorite, and jellyfish salad was a nice surprise. I expected the jellyfish to be sort of slimy, but it was surprisingly firm, somewhere between crunchy and chewy, I would say.
So let me show you around a little bit. There is our balcony, and you can see Halong Bay just behind the balcony, and there is some other cruise going through. This is the room or our cabin. We have pretty nice bed. The whole place looks pretty cool. And this is the bathroom, and it's probably the best bathroom I have seen in the whole Vietnam. Hey there guys. And this is pretty large toilet, I would say.
500 million years of geological processes in this area form almost 2000 limestone islands. Around half of the islands have their own name, usually associated with their shape. The whole name Halong means descending dragon, but it's fairly new, originating somewhere in 19th century. I wish we had time to explore the islands and look for wildlife from a bit more up close than this. Many of the islands have caves or even their own lakes or sinkholes.
I can definitely hear them everywhere.
Around 40 of the islands are inhabited. There are also a few fishing villages consisting of floating houses. The landscape is similar to the limestone forest of Ninh Binh we had seen at the start of our journey.
The water is disgustingly hot. Like, it's not even refreshing, it's warmer than the air.
Unfortunately, not even Halong Bay is free of plastic pollution.
We are so freaking full. Like, this boat is really fancy and the food is just gorgeous. I don't know what to say, but right now we are on our way to squid hunting. So let's see how that goes.
Instead of squid, we got a storm and it was beautiful. The next morning started on a kayak, so we got a closer look at the limestone islands. With everything packed and on the way back to the harbor, the last stop of the journey was ahead of us. Koto Island has a very short Wikipedia page and that tells you something.
Welcome to Koto Island. You won't find many Western tourists here. We have met only 2 people and they were the only English speaking people on the island, it seems. Like, there's a lot of trash all around, so we are walking a little bit further away from the harbor because the beaches should be pretty nice on this island. The question is the amount of plastic and overall trash we will find there, because that's a big issue in the whole of Asia basically. The food is a little bit difficult for us here too, because they basically sell only seafood around here. We had our fill on our fancy boat. We have been eating seafood for 2 days and that's enough for a month at least, I would say. So eating seafood for 3 more days will be difficult, but we have found one pho place and it was okay enough, so that's something. But most importantly, we have found a grocery store which sells instant noodles, so we will survive the 3 days here.
The island is just 6 kilometers or less than 4 miles at the widest part.
Like, they were checking our passports like 4 times since we came to the island. Like, this Koto Island is very close to border with China and they are super careful to like make sure whether you are not, I don't know, Chinese spy or something like that. Like, the relationships between China and Vietnam are rocky at the best, it seems. And yeah, we also had to like give our passports on the port we started from the mainland. And let me tell you, it was also quite lucky we even got to the port where the speedboats go from to Koto Island, because we originally intended to go some different port, but we arranged for a transfer with a tour guide on the fancy boat, and the local guy just drove us to some different port and said us, yeah, this is where you go from. Like, not really said, he didn't speak a word in English. We sort of communicated through Google Translate. And lucky we were, because there were the boats we needed, so we got to the island. The place is stunning, but there is so much trash, like, everywhere. Like, there are a few spots that are probably clean, but most of those are full of plastic trash. And it's not even allowed to swim, it seems, on this side, on these beaches. There's one like clean beach, but you are not allowed to swim there, it seems. It's like some marine protection, I don't know. It sounds sort of funny with all the trash lying around, that you are not allowed to swim here. So that's a little bit funny. but nothing we can do about that. And there is also a note that you are not allowed to fly drones on this nice rocky beach. So no drone footage for you, I'm afraid. No drones. I get it. I get it. But tomorrow we'll probably have to go on the other side of the island, which is like around 7 kilometers or something like that. We will see whether we will walk or try to find some transfer there, because there should be some sandy beaches where you are actually allowed to swim. Here is the beach. You can see a lot of cows on the beach. So we have found one beach which is probably accessible. We have tried to translate all the signs around, and it seems the only recommendation here is not to litter, which seems nobody takes seriously, because look at the trash. But we took a few minutes and cleaned up the small patch of the beach. We have found pretty nice basket which was pretty useful for cleaning all the stuff. So we have pretty clean spot right now, and we can enjoy a few hours of swimming in pretty hot water, but it's better than being out on the sun without the water. So that's that.
The next day, we walked all the way to the other side of the island. We met more animals than people. The most interesting were the huge spiders. I believe it's a giant golden orb weaver. The females of this species can have leg span up to 20 centimeters, but the males are only a few millimeters long.
Hello again from Koto Island. We have walked about 2 hours to the other side of the island and reached like 3-kilometer long beach, sandy beach with nice water. But of course there's a lot of plastic pollution everywhere. So we did a little cleanup of our camp and established some perimeter of clean part of the beach. But other than that, you can see pretty massive pollution all around. But that is something you have to be ready when traveling anywhere in Asia, sadly. Apparently a lot of the trash comes from China, because we are pretty close to China border. But I would say that China cannot be blamed for all of that, but who knows actually. So cleanup is done, let's get into the water. It's like over 30 degrees and we are soaking in the sweat. So it will be nice change of pace to be actually in the water.
The most interesting find was a sand dollar, which should bring you a good fortune, but we broke it before leaving the beach. Well.
Well, it was cloudy, but now it's raining pretty heavily. So we decided to cut short our beach visit. It was nice, but we are heading back to the hotel. It's about 6 kilometers, so we will try to catch some of the golf carts which are driving around the island, and maybe we will be home sooner. But rain is still probably better than the scorching heat we experienced on the previous days, so at least we have that going for us.
We ended up walking all the way back. The selection of seafood includes even horseshoe crabs, poor things. If nothing else, the sunsets were breathtaking.
we made it to the mainland finally. It was a little bit sketchy because we have right at the ticket office and they sent us away that there were no electricity and some person who were responsible for selling the tickets wasn't present, it seems. But we made it to the boat. The ride was slightly sketchy because of the weather conditions, but we made it. And now remains to find the transfer to the Hanoi. But we had some issues communicating with the company because nobody speaks English apparently in the company. So we are not sure whether we have transfer or not, but we will see. Now we will try to call them again and try to communicate somehow, because they don't have like WhatsApp or something, so we cannot write them and we have to communicate by phone, which is complicated.
We managed to squeeze 10 free SMS out of our tourist SIM by installing their app, and we finally managed to confirm with the driver thanks to Google Translate. Leaving Kyoto and Halong Bay area brought us back to Hanoi. We were experienced street crossers by this point, and there was little to surprise us. We visited the Temple of Literature and spent as much time as possible enjoying the hectic nature of the city. I should really work on documenting our food, because we went to a Michelin star photo place and I have no footage of that, just this photo. It was the only photo that rivaled the one from Chicago Pizza restaurant in Sapa.
So, it's our last day in Hanoi in Vietnam and it's raining slightly. We decided to do a little bit of shopping, but the weather is slightly against us, like it's raining like hell.
So, this is the end of our Vietnam adventure. The nature, the people, the food, the rush of the city, the calm of the temples. I will remember this trip for the rest of my life, and I hope to return one day. Special thanks to my travel companions Kačka, Eliška and Zdeňka. Ladies, you were great. And thank you all for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.